If you are looking to make money scooping dog poop, you have come to the right channel. Hey YouTube, it's Erica Kroopin with Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to choose a business name. So if you are interested in hearing about that, stay tuned. All right, let's talk about picking a business name. Now, I didn't actually use these tactics when I picked Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin. I just so happened to marry a man that had the last name Kroopin. It's spelled K-R-U-P-I-N, so we changed it to K-R-O-O-P-I-N to go with Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin. So I didn't have to put a lot of thought into it, but I did think about if I were to pick a different name, what would I do differently? I just so happened to marry a man that last name rhymed with
Poopin.
What are the steps I would need to go through? What process would I use to pick a proper name? So that got me thinking, because I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not really too sure. I don't know how I would do it. So I took to the internet, I took to the Google, and I did some research and found some very, very informative information on how to pick a business name. So I'm going to compile all that in this video and share it with you guys. Step 1, do your research. If you're watching this video, you have started your research journey. Congratulations. First, I want you to think about who is your target customer. And I know when you start in business, you're like, I don't know who my target customer is. I don't even know what I'm doing in business right now. So here's a couple generic qualifications for somebody that would be an ideal customer. You would want somebody that owns a dog, right? You don't want to go over somebody's house to scoop poop out of the backyard if they're not a dog owner. You're also going to want somebody that doesn't scoop the dog poop regularly. Somebody that stays on top of their dog waste, that does it every day or every time the dog goes to the bathroom. They're not going to be your ideal customer either, because there's not a need there. Are you going to want to service residential or commercial properties? A lot of times us scoopers start with residential and then move more into the commercial later on in business, because residential typically is easier to get into. And this is where you're going to gain your experience. You're going to learn what works, what doesn't work. Then you'll make your way to commercial if that's the avenue that you want to go into. And then number 2, I want you to think about how big do you want your business to get? Do you just want to have a smaller business, something that is manageable by you? Do you want to grow it larger to where you have a team? Are you wanting to expand out of your city, out of your state? Is this something that you might want to turn into like a franchise? These are all key factors that are going to play into your business name. Because say for instance, if you want to stay local, you want to stay small, using your name or using the city that you live in or the city that you want to service in would be a good idea. But if you want to expand larger, using, if I were to say Westland's premier dog waste removal business, that's a hefty name. I wouldn't do that. But that wouldn't make any sense if I'm trying to expand to other cities, other states. So think about if you want to stay smaller, or are you going to want to get larger? And I know that's kind of hard to figure out in the beginning, but this is all stuff that you kind of want to keep in mind when you're choosing your business name. So after you've done your research, you're going to want to pick 3 to 5 business names. Now the reason why you want to pick multiple names, because this name might already be taken, and I'm going to show you the places that you're going to need to check later to make sure that this name is available. So pick your 3 to 5, take your time, don't rush into this. Have some diversity, have something that's like fun, cute, and quirky, something that's like very professional, something that is personal to you. That way you can do some A/B testing later on down the road before you actually decide on what name you're going to have. You want to make sure that you pick names that are easy to spell. You want to pick names that are searchable on Google. When you are setting it up and you're spelling it, don't get too fancy with the spelling, because the harder it is for people to spell, the harder it is for people to find you, the more effort you're going to have to put into your marketing and your advertising, because it's going to be harder for people to find you. But pick a name that rhymes, do a play on words, something that is fun. So when your customer, maybe they didn't need you right then and there, but they heard your business name, and when the snow melts and they need a spring clean for dog waste, they remembered that name because it was a name that was memorable to them. You're going to want to try to keep your name short, 1 to 3 words in this name. You don't want to get super crazy because it gets confusing. Trust me, I know. With Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin, it's a lot. And I at times shorten it down to KPS because it's easier that way. And also, you don't want to go making up words. You don't want to make up a word that isn't in the dictionary. You don't want to make up a word that somebody has to struggle to spell. The harder it is for somebody to find you, the more money you're going to have to sink into your advertising. And also make sure you check the spelling. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you're spelling is spelled correctly. You also want to check the punctuation. So with my business name, it's Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin. Well, I didn't put the apostrophe at the end of Poopin or Scoopin. And I didn't even know that was a thing because I didn't do the research that was needed. Then I started seeing people type it that way when they would respond back to my emails. And so then I felt kind of stupid. I was like, oh goodness, I can't believe I didn't even know that that was a thing. And it's really not that big of a deal, but it bothers me. Like, it's something that's kind of irritating to me. Okay, if you have made it this far in the video, I am very, very curious. How did you find my channel and how did you find this video? I know I talk about dog poop over here. It's not an ordinary type thing, but I'm curious how you found the crappiest channel on YouTube. Now it's time to do a little bit more research. I know you're probably like, oh my God, Erica, I don't want to do all this research. Do your research. And this is where you're going to look to see if the domain is available. If you don't know what a domain is, that's like your web address. So mine is www.poopinscoopin.com. You can do that on GoDaddy or a lot of other platforms. You're going to want to look to see if it's available on Facebook, Instagram, Google, and TikTok, because everybody's on TikTok these days. And then you're also going to want to do a trademark search. You have to make sure that it doesn't have a trademark on it or the name isn't close enough to a name that already is trademarked. And if you haven't done already, you need to make sure that this name is available to file for an LLC or a DBA. And you can do that online typically through your local state website. So at this point, you have multiple business names picked out, right? You got 3 to 5. I want you to start practicing it in the mirror, saying it out loud, introducing yourself. So with me, hi, my name is Erica Kroopin with Kroopin's Poopin Scoopin. Nice to meet you. Does it sound natural to you? Do you enjoy saying it? Is it something that you're proud of where you can have your shoulders back, your head up, and say your name? Introduce yourself to your mirror. Introduce it to your loved ones, your family, anybody that will allow you to practice. And then ask your friends and family for some input. And this is what I've learned with Facebook. So if you're a person that's on Facebook, even Instagram, I'm sure you could do this. People like to help in general, and people love to vocalize their opinion. So if you have 3 to 5 business names, or you've narrowed it down to 3, and you post them online and say, hey you guys, I know this is kind of out of the blue. I'm starting a dog waste removal business and I picked out a couple business names. If you don't mind, would you rate them from 1 to 10? So now you're getting engagement. Now you're letting your people on Facebook that interact with you all the time, you're letting them know that you are starting a dog waste removal business. So they're in this journey with you. So when you finally do make your grand announcement, they're not shocked because they've been along the line with you. You can do this with the business name. You can do this with your branding colors. You can do this with your marketing material. And anybody that wants to help you will, and anybody that doesn't want to help you won't. And the best thing is, all of this information, all this data is free. Like, you're already on social media anyways. These people are already on social. You might as well utilize what you can for free. And the cool thing is when you are ready to launch, the people that were there with you through picking the business name, picking the colors, doing all of the things, they're probably going to be the ones that are going to share your information on social media. Because at first, it's like crickets. A lot of people are like, wait, what? What are you doing? You started a business? It's new to them. They're scared. But if they're involved and they're invested, there's a good chance that they're going to be the first ones that will A, use your service, or B, if they don't need it, share your service. So use it. Use it if you got it, right? And if you're the type of person that's like, oh, I don't have a Facebook, listen. If you're getting in business, you really do need to have a Facebook. Facebook is very, very good for business.
Especially in this industry.
I know it might be hard, but really think about what name feels right to you. What name are you proud of? And just know this isn't the final decision. It's not the end all be all. So if you end up picking a name and later on you hate it, you can always change it. Yes, it takes some time, and yes, it can cost some money. But if you file your name as an LLC and you decide, man, I just don't like this name anymore, you can always get a DBA, a doing business as it's like a nickname for your LLC with a completely different name. And that's actually what I did with my business. But I did it a little bit differently, and it was for different reasons, but it's still pretty much the same concept. And I know picking a business name is very important. And I know it could get very overwhelming if you don't have a background in picking business names or anything related to business, but just know that you can do it. I had no business being in business. I had no background. I came from pharmacy, and I often get asked, Erica, how do you know all the things? How do you know everything that you know? Research, research, research. I will research something till I'm blue in the face. And I want you to let this come naturally to you. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And if you're out and about doing something and a name pops up in your head, I want you to stop. And I want you to jot it down in your phone because you might forget it later. I know that I have. I know with YouTube videos, sometimes I come up with like an epic idea and I don't write it down right away, and then poof, it's gone. It's literally gone from my brain. And I'm so irritated with myself because I'm like, if I would have just wrote it down, I could make a freaking video on it. But now I can't think of it. All right, I hope this video helped. I hope that this was informative. If you guys like this video, smash that thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, well, you know there's a button for that as well, but don't do that. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet, come on now. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, bye. Oh, crap. And make sure you spec the celling.